Spot. I'd love to, man. Spawning the bottom left-hand corner of the map as our pink Zerg player, currently up 1-0. One of the fan favorites of this tournament. It is JonnyREcco. And his opponent in the top right-hand corner of the map as the yellow Zerg, or yellow Protoss, excuse me. Playing very well last game, just not enough to cut it. We'll see what he does here. It is Cube from My3D Gaming, I believe is the name of his team.
That is indeed the name of his team. So now the one thing we are looking out for is if there's any variation in strategy. We can see the Cube is getting the pylon on the low ground, so most likely going to be going for a Forge first. Could potentially go for a Nexus first. It is a big map, but of course you can do some early pushes, and it's always risky going for a Nexus first. But having said that, JonnyREcco, I think he should still go for a 15 pull, 16 hatch, because otherwise you're going to be running into a little bit of a problem, because then ultimately, if there was a cannon rush or anything, you're not going to have Zerglings out to try and defend against it. In terms of the later game stages, well, it's a huge map. This map is really macro-orientated, and I think we should be seeing a bit more of a longer game here.
Yeah, you know, this is a common map for early pulls. I was one of the observers for the blue stream at MLG Dallas, and we saw Life do an early pull against MC here, and because he went Nexus first, you know, Life ended up winning with, you know, the 8-lings I got in the middle line. I mean, there are really, really aggressive builds that can happen on this map, but we're not seeing that. We're seeing a hatch first. This is actually a style I've been playing with a lot lately. I know I'm really good friends with Root Fitzy, and he's been going a lot of hatch first as well. And a lot of players are starting to figure out, I know Cass does it too, where you can actually go hatch first, and if you get cannon rushed, I mean, the Protoss player has to commit to 2 cannons and a pylon. If they only commit to 1 cannon, you can clean it up. And if you do some counter aggression with some quick burrow, you can still afford to go hatch first. But there is no really quick scout here from our Protoss player, and this hatch first is going to go unscouted, and it's actually going to work out in favor of JonnyREcco.
It will work out for him. I mean, you can defend against, obviously, cannon rushes with a hatch first, but it's just a lot harder, and the risk and reward always has to be played out. And for people at the level of JonnyREcco and Cube, then obviously the reward can be quite large, but ultimately the risk, if you're just laddering or something like that, pull first is usually the safer option to take. Now, Cube has also gone for a Nexus first opening, so he's going very, very economical, getting a gateway on after that, after this Forge, so really everything going fairly standard here. Nothing too much to worry about on the Protoss side, getting his first gas out as well. The Cybercore will start as soon as the gateway's done, and we should be transitioning into the mid-game nicely, where the biggest decision from Cube is what mid-game tech he goes for first.
Yeah, and you know, like we talked about, this matchup is so versatile now. You can literally see any style from any player. We'll just have to wait and see. Second gas on the way. Next is just about is just finishing up here, and going to get that Cybernex core immediately. Our Zerg player still not taking that third base just yet. Going to keep droning up. We'll have to see what he does with that first 100 gas. Will it be for the speed, or will it be for a really quick layer?
Most likely, he will just get the gas. He forgot to deposit the final 2 gas drones, but there we go. Speed on its way, pulling it out now. This will delay his third base, but means he's got complete map control. He has to do that to be a little bit safer, having gone hatch first, but now he should start up his third. There we go. So things looking quite nice for him. Not massively delayed, just about a minute later than really the earliest point you tend to see a third hatch out of a Zerg player. Of course, Cube just finishing up his Cybercore now, starting Warp Gate tech. Really, all we've got to keep an eye out for is what sort of tech we get out from Cube. So JonnyREcco needs to scout it and get a good response to it and get the right units and composition out to deal with it.
He's probably checked the other third base. Does not see anything. Going to dip on down. See that the third base is up. Sentry just about to pop out for him. Second cannon going down. You know, without scouting the third base, you could think that there's some early aggression here. Does he cancel it on scouting that third base? So we'll have to keep an eye on that second cannon. There he goes. He did cancel it. Third gas being taken as well as fourth gas. Mothership core on the way. No additional gates just yet. Warp gate's about a third away. And there we go, seeing a Stargate.
Yeah, this is a good opening. I mean, Stargates are really strong. The big decision now the Cube has to go for is whether it's going to be an Oracle, whether it's going to be Phoenix, or it could even potentially be a Voidway. I have seen that. Voidways are less common, though, in my experience, as opposed to Oracle or Phoenix out of a Stargate first. So this is something that we're keeping an eye out for. The Overlord is slowly making its way over there for JonnyREcco, but it's an absolute mile away. Whirlwind is a huge map, and therefore it's going to take a long time to get any scouting information. But if JonnyREcco was to poke up into the front, he would see that the Forge isn't researching anything, so that means that you've got no ground upgrades. That's a big tell. Cube also choosing to get his robotic facility out straight after this, so unlikely to be a big commitment to Stargate units.
And then it's going to be Oracle. I'm good friends with Frodan, and we're practice partners together. We play a lot, and he's very fond of just mass Phoenix, going for about 5 or 6 Phoenix early on, and that's the style I prefer. I don't really like Oracle harassment. If it gets scouted, it can get shut down easier, and even if it doesn't get scouted, Oracles are just such fragile units, so I do prefer the Phoenix play, but it still can work. You can get into middle line and just decimate everything. Following up with the robotics facility as well, so we can, the cool thing about the Stargate opener is, it's kind of like how Robo used to be. You could open Robo to get the Observer out and not use that robotics facility for a while. That's what the Stargate's like. And the Overlord's going to scout this Stargate, going to see the Phoenix, going to see the Oracle, going to be able to get spores down in time to just defend it perfectly.
Yeah, spotting that Oracle. If the Oracle was already halfway across the map, then obviously it wouldn't be quite as bad, but now JonnyREcco has got all the time in the world to prepare for this. He's got his macro hatch coming down. He's also got his Roach Warren and Lair nearly completed. There goes down the 2 spores. He's going to get that all the time in the world. Has the Overlord yet spotted the robotics facility? I don't think it can see it. No, it can't. So that's something that JonnyREcco really could do with spotting. But having seen now the robotics bay, he knows it's down.
Yep, the Phoenix are still being pumped out here, so it's going to be a lot of aggression here. I love the creep spread here from JonnyREcco. The only thing I'm worried about is he doesn't have his main and natural connected, so you have to bring Queens up there. He's going to be in trouble, and that's what we're seeing here. Oracle and Phoenix flying in here. Oracle going to activate that attack. Going to start picking off so many drones. He's in range of the Spore Caller. Needs to micro it back. Cube. No, you're going to lose the Oracle. He barely micros it back. It had a few hits left. Really unfortunate there for him. He could have just positioned that right above the extraction, been out of the range of the Spore, and been able to sit there for much longer. And now the fact is he has to keep this Oracle away from any aggression until the shields come back. And even then, he's only going to have 60 extra shields. That's really going to just slow down this Oracle harass a lot from him.
It's going to slow it down. Ultimately, that Spore Crawler and the Scout out, which caused the Spore Crawlers to be thrown, was so good for Rico. He's getting currently his Spire, so it's going to be going for some Mutalisk play, which it's a bit strange when you know that the Phoenix is out. Maybe hoping that, having seen the robotics bay, that it was just going to be a quick tech switch. He could also get some Corruptors out just in order to deal with those Colossi, but now the Phoenix doing nice work against this Overseer. The Overseer getting a good read, though. Nothing really changed since the last Overlord that came in. A little bit of aggression coming into the third base of Cube, though. Only a small amount of Zerglings, but do manage to force the cancel. That was really good for Rico there.
Yeah, that was really, really solid. The cancel almost didn't go off there. That was literally last second from Cube. Didn't want to use any force fields to get the Lings off there. Just let them get the cancel. Has not rebuilt it just yet. Is sending over that probe right now. Phoenix are still being built. We do see that JonnyREcco is building Hydras as well, or excuse me, has the upgrades on the way. So we'll have to see when he wants to commit to those Mutalisks. If we look at the units tab, there are already 5 Phoenix on the way with a 6th coming up.
Yep, 6 Phoenix are on their way out. 10 Roaches also in production for Rico. He's getting the Muscular Augments upgrade for his Hydralisk. Currently he doesn't have any Hydras out, but they're going to really help shut down those Phoenix if they do come in. There's the 11 Hydras all on their way. Plus 1 air weapons also on his way for the Zerg player. Meanwhile, behind this for Cube, he's getting down the Twilight Council and also Extended Thermal Lance and the Colossus. What can we be expecting? Well, JonnyREcco, he's just expanding everywhere, knowing that with such a large Phoenix commitment, there's not going to be too much of a ground push coming in, and also knowing the Cube has his 3rd down, he's got to stay a base up.
2 Queens get picked off here. No Hydras to defend. They're just not popping out, so unfortunately both those Queens are going to die. The creep spread's already going pretty good. A lot of tumors on the map, but it's going to slow it down just a little bit. Like you said, the 4th base has been taken by our Zerg player, JonnyREcco. Ling's out on the map, scouting for any hidden tech, any hidden nexus anywhere. Good job there. He's actually got Lings everywhere. If we look at the map vision for JonnyREcco, he's done an excellent job of keeping map vision. Usually whenever the Phoenix get on the field, or get sniped, most Zergs don't have any map vision at all. But these placements on these Lings would be cool if he actually got burrowed and burrowed these Lings here to keep them alive just a little bit longer. But overall, really well done from JonnyREcco.
It's really well done, and I love the fact he's getting some Corruptors out, because of course they're going to shut down the Phoenix incredibly hard, also help against the Colossus. 1 Void Ray currently out on the field for Cube, so not enough to be a real threat to those Corruptors, but with the Hydras there, JonnyREcco's just getting a really nice supply lead. He's got his 4 bases, he's up at 84 drones as well. Everything really piecing together how he'd want, and ultimately, he's going to just start creeping forward. His creep spread is already halfway across the map, and he's got a decent number of units down. This is something the Cube needs to be very cautious about.
Yeah, it's always a threat. We'll have to see. This is going to be a tough push from JonnyREcco. I don't like the fact that he's mixing in Corruptors. I feel that Corruptors have a very small place in this matchup currently, and I don't like this option. There are no Void Rays on the field. Void Rays really shut down Corruptors altogether. We'll have to see if this will work for him. There's only one Colossus here. If JonnyREcco can target down this Colossus with the Corruptors, then he'll have a great push here. It's really going to all come down to if he focus fires or not that one Colossus, because as everyone knows, Colossus just devour the Hydras.
Yeah, and that's the really important thing, is that those Corruptors are going to just be incredibly potent. Now we see the Mothership Core gets one-shotted very, very quickly. There is only one Colossus on the field. The Hydra's dealing some nice damage. That Corruptor, the Void Ray getting focused down, and, well, this is really going in JonnyREcco's favour here, but the Force Fields are really good zoning out a lot of the army, and now that the Colossus is down, then obviously these Corruptors are only able to really focus down the Phoenix, which weren't engaging much, but just such a great concave there for JonnyREcco. He's going to keep moving forward. Behind this, he's making a lot of Roaches, a lot of Hydralisks, also getting his Hive down. The Immortal dies near instantly to that many Hydras. The Cannon down. This is looking so good for the Zerg player, who's nearly 100 supply ahead.
Yeah, this is, JonnyREcco is obviously in a great position, but this is the reason why I don't like the Corruptor push. Say that this was held, just barely. You have a bunch of Corruptors just sitting here that, aren't contributing to the push. There are 5 Hydras here, and the rest of the supply on the aggressive side of the map is Corruptors. I would have liked to see a Muta switch. We did see that our Zerg player reinforced with Roaches and Hydras. Taking down all those Phoenix, taking down the Void Rays, and all those Wingstalkers, a Muta switch would be really strong right now. But, he's just going to resupply on Roaches and Hydras, has his Hive about to finish. 62 Lings on the way as well, and should be seeing a few Vipers make this in.
Yeah, this is just a really nice composition at the moment out of Rico. He can be very aggressive as well. If we take a look at the army supply, he's at 106 to just 44 of Cube. Cube is definitely going to have a tough time defending this. Storm is researching, but it's a long way done, so it's not going to be out in time to defend the next push. Rico, he's going straight up towards the natural base now. May snipe off that cyber core and then potentially even continue to move forward. The Forge will go down. This is going to delay the upgrades by a long time. The cyber core goes down as well, meaning no stalkers, no sentries. Things looking so good for the Zerg player at the moment, who's up at 5 bases to just the 3, soon to be 2 though, of Cube.
Yeah, like I said, Storm's just about to finish. It's 30 seconds away, but not in time. Lings and Hydras coming in here. No Archons. These Zelts are going to get devoured. Upgrades are 2-1 versus JonnyREcco's, which I did not get to check to see, but JonnyREcco gets the GG and is going to move on to